and welcome to LDTV. I'm John Faubel, and I'm hosting this year's broadcast of the Burlington County Academic Tournament. This year in our finals, Morristown Friends versus Lenape. To the far left, Bailey Butterworth, Captain John Barton, and Charles Kropanicki from Morristown Friends. And starting on the far right, Sanjana Jampana, Captain Tyler Hogan, Sakshi Chopra, and Sahil Trivedi for Lenape. We've got 5 categories with 4-point values for each. We've got some lightning rounds, and when we get to that, that'll be in the middle of our round. Each team gets a question. They're going to have 30 seconds to answer, and if they miss, the other team has a chance to steal. Before we started, there was a coin flip, and Lenape won. So Tyler, what are we going to start with?
Can I have math for 50, please?
Math for 50. In a stochastic matrix, the rows and columns each add up to this sum. Also, the sum of the individual probabilities in any probability space. What is it? In a stochastic matrix, the rows and columns each add up to this sum. Also, the sum of the individual probabilities in any probability space. What is it?
1.
That is correct. Morristown.
We'll do history for 100.
History for 100. It belonged to Romania from the end of World War I in 1918 until 1940 when the Soviet Union took it. During World War II, Romania, allied with Germany, occupied the area. It was recaptured by the Soviet Union in 1944, and in 1991 it became an independent state with its capital at Chisinau. Name the nation.
Moldova.
That is correct. Lenape.
Math 25, please.
Math for 25. The area of a circle is 81 pi square inches. What is the length in inches of the diameter of the circle? The area of a circle is 81 pi square inches. What is the length in inches of the diameter of the circle?
18 inches.
That is correct. Morristown Friends.
History for 75.
History for 75. Name the ruler, founder of the Yuan dynasty, whose realm covered 20% of the inhabited world, who was visited by Marco Polo and the subject of a poem by Samuel Taylor Coleridge.
Oh, is it
Name the ruler, founder of the Yuan dynasty, whose realm covered 20% of the inhabited world, who was visited by Marco Polo and the subject of a poem by Samuel Taylor Coleridge.
Kublai Khan.
That is correct. Lenape.
History for 50.
History for 50. The title is a pun on the title of Robert Penn Warren's best-known novel. Named the 1974 bestseller about 2 reporters' investigation of the Watergate break-in. The title is a pun on the title of Robert Penn Warren's best-known novel. Named the 1974 bestseller about 2 reporters' investigation of the Watergate break-in.
All the President's Men.
That is correct.
We'll do sports for 100.
Okay, sports for 100. In what sport or activity are pitons used? In what sport or activity are pitons used?
Archery. Archery.
That is incorrect. Lenape?
What's this one? Shooting.
Also incorrect. The correct answer is mountain climbing. Mountain climbing. Lenape, your selection.
Lang Lit for 50.
Okay, Lang Lit vocab for 50. Since popes generally had no children of their own, the early pontiffs sometimes favored their nephews with important positions in the church. From the Latin word meaning nephew, what related word do we still use meaning expressing favoritism to relatives? Since popes generally had no children of their own, the early pontiffs sometimes favored their nephews with important positions in the church. From the Latin word meaning nephew, what related word do we still use meaning expressing favoritism to relatives?
Nepotism.
That is correct. Morristown Friends.
General knowledge 100.
General knowledge for 100. Who won a Nobel Prize for his campaign against nuclear weapons testing? Who won a Nobel Prize for his campaign against nuclear weapons testing?
It might be Gorbachev. Is he one? I think it might be Gorbachev. Gorbachev?
That is incorrect. Lenape?
Linus Pauling.
That is correct. Lenape, your selection.
What do you want? Sure. Let's do general. Lang lit for 100.
Lang lit for 100. The ghost of Hamlet's father is an example. What literary device uses a character to represent a sort of twin, sometimes with a wicked side? A German word, literally double walker, meaning an apparition or double of a living person. The ghost of Hamlet's father is an example. What literary device uses a character to represent a sort of twin, sometimes with a wicked side? A German word, literally double walker, meaning an apparition or double of a living person.
Doppelganger.
That is correct. And Morristown friends, with our last question before we go to the lightning rounds.
Sports for 75.
Sports for 75. Name the two colleges, one in West Virginia, the other in Pennsylvania, whose football rivalry, sometimes referred to as the Battle of I-79, since the interstate connects the two schools. One school is nicknamed the Panthers, and the other is called the Mountaineers.
West Virginia University and Pittsburgh.
That is correct. That is correct. Okay, so we finished the first part of our game. We're going to take a break. We'll come back with a score check and any substitutions before we move on to the lightning round. And welcome back to LDTV's broadcast of the Burlington County Academic Tournament. We've had some substitutions for Lenape. We've got Soraya Saniel and Jordan Davis. Quick look at our scores. Lenape 375, Morristown Friends 250. We're going to move to our lightning round. There are 4 categories in the lightning round. Okay, 10 questions in each for a maximum of 100 points. Each team, if they pick the round, will have 1 minute. Okay? So that's a possibility of 100 points. If they run the category, that would be 20 bonus points. Any questions they do not get right, the other team will have a chance to steal and have 6 seconds for each. Since Morristown is behind at the moment, they will get to make the first selection.
We will do heads of government.
Got it. All right. Heads of government. Heads of government. All right, guys, here's the parameters for this, okay? In the United States, the head of government is a president. What title is given to the head of government in, and I will give you the country.
Okay.
Understand?
Yes.
All right, ready, judges? Britain.
Sure. Is it okay. Prime Minister?
Germany.
Is it? I think also. No, I think it's also Prime Minister. Prime Minister.
Hungary.
President.
Spain.
Is that king?
No, I think
President.
Austria.
President.
Poland.
no, that's president. That's president.
President.
Switzerland.
Prime Minister.
Mexico.
President.
Canada.
Prime Minister.
Cuba.
President.
Okay. 40 points for Morristown Friends. 40 points. Okay. So Lenape is going to have 36 seconds for the remaining 6. We understand the parameters, Tyler?
That I do.
Okay. Germany.
Chancellor.
Hungary.
President.
Spain.
King.
Austria.
Prime Minister.
Switzerland.
That'd be Prime Minister.
Cuba.
Chancellor.
10 points for Lenape. 10 points for Lenape. Okay? For the record, the ones that were not gotten correctly, Hungary is a premier, Spain is a prime minister, Austria is a chancellor, Switzerland is president, and Cuba is premier. Okay? All right,
What do you want?
Lenape, what are we going with?
We'd like the cabinet, please.
Cabinet. Okay. Both teams, please jot this down. Okay, please jot this down. Interior, State, Health and Human Services, Commerce. Okay, those 4 positions. Now I'll list the agencies, and you tell me which of these cabinet departments oversee them.
Got it.
Okay?
Yes.
Bureau of Human Rights and Humanitarian Affairs,
Health and Human Services.
Food and Drug Administration,
Health and Human Services.
Geological Survey,
Interior.
National Bureau of Standards,
Commerce.
U.S. Travel and Tourism,
State.
U.S. Information Agency,
State.
National Telecommunications and Information Administration,
Health and Human Services.
Office of Protocol,
State.
Social Security,
Health and Human Services.
Water and Power Resources Service.
Health and Human Services.
Okay. 60 points, Lenape. 60 points, Lenape.
I just ignored comment.
Okay.
Feel bad.
So John Morristown's going to have 24 seconds for the remaining 4. Okay? Bureau of Human Rights and Humanitarian Affairs.
Interior.
U.S. Travel and Tourism.
Commerce.
National Telecommunications and Information Administration.
Interior.
Water and Power Resources Service.
Interior.
20 points, Morristown Friends. Okay? The 2 that were not Human Rights and Humanitarian Affairs goes under the State Department. Telecommunications falls under Commerce. Morristown Friends.
We'll do semi.
Okay, semi. Okay, obviously all of the answers contain semi.
Yes.
Okay. A happening twice a year is called what?
Semi-annual.
Semi-annual.
Publication every 2 weeks.
Pass.
The 50th anniversary.
Semi-centennial.
Semi-centennial.
An erroneous word meaning more casual than black tie.
Semi-formal.
Semi-cat.
Semi-formal.
Semi-formal.
Shape of a protractor.
Semicircle.
Hospital room for more than 1 person.
Pass.
A stone of lesser value.
Pass.
An event immediately preceding the last competition.
Semi-final. Semi-final.
Half awake.
Pass.
A roof covering a semicircular space.
Semi-arch. Semi-arch.
Publication every 2 weeks.
Semi-monthly.
Hospital room for more than 1 person.
Semi-room.
A stone of lesser value.
Time.
60 points, Morristown Friends. Okay. All right. All right, so we're going to have 24 seconds for the remaining 4. Lenape, we ready?
Yes.
Hospital room for more than 1 person.
Semi-private.
A stone of lesser value.
Semi-precious.
Half awake.
Semi-conscious.
A roof covering a semicircular space.
A semi-roof.
30 points for Lenape. The last one is a semi-dome. Semi-dome.
That makes sense.
All right, and finally, medicine, military, or music. I'm going to name a person, and you tell me under what category he would be classified. Okay? David G. Farragut.
Military.
Alexander Fleming.
Medicine.
Stephen C. Foster.
Music.
John Paul Jones.
That's military.
Edward A. McDowell.
Military.
Jonas Salk.
Medicine.
William T. Sherman.
Military.
Arturo Toscanini.
Music.
Galen.
Medicine.
Paul Hindemith.
Military.
80 points, Lenape. Okay, 12 seconds for the remaining two. Morristown. Ready, John?
Yes.
Edward A. McDowell.
That was 5.
Medicine.
Paul Hindemith.
Music.
10 points for Morristown Friends. McDowell is also music. Okay, that's the end of our lightning round. We're going to take a break again, get ready for the final part of our challenge, and see if there's any more substitutions. We'll be back in a few minutes. And welcome back to LDTV's broadcast of the 28th Annual Burlington County Academic Tournament. Score check before we get on to the final part of the challenge. It's 555 for Lenape, 380 for Morristown Friends. Okay? And I believe it's Lenape's selection.
Can we have Lang Lit for 75?
Langlet for 75. The narrator of this poem seems quite playful and mischievous, while his counterpart is quite serious. The narrator questions the purpose of the title object in this first poem from the collection, North of Boston. His counterpart says, "Good fences make good neighbors." In what Robert Frost work? The narrator of this poem seems quite playful and mischievous, while his counterpart is quite serious. The narrator questions the purpose of the title object in the first poem from the collection, North of Boston. His counterpart says, "Good fences make good neighbors." In what Robert Frost poem?
Pass.
The road less traveled.
Good guess. The answer is the Mending Wall. Mending Wall. Okay. Morristown.
We will do math for 100.
Math for 100. Convert 8 comma pi from polar to rectangular coordinates. Convert 8 comma pi from polar to rectangular coordinates.
Um, 1360 pi.
It's incorrect. Lenape?
Pass.
Correct answer is -8 comma 0. -8 comma 0. Lenape.
Math for 75, please.
Math for 75. This function of the difference between two numbers gives the distance between them by calculating the principal square root of the square of that difference. It can be defined as x when x is positive and negative x when x is negative, resulting in its V-shaped graph. Name this function. The function of the difference between two numbers gives the distance between them by calculating the principal square root of the square of the difference.
Absolute value function. Absolute value function.
That is correct. Morristown Friends.
We'll do general knowledge for 75.
General knowledge for 75. Built on the far northern Norwegian island Spitsbergen, What has the government stored in a vault to guard against an extinction due to natural disaster, nuclear war, or global warming? Built on the far northern Norwegian island Spitsbergen, what has the government stored in a vault to guard against an extinction due to natural disaster, nuclear war, or global warming?
Seeds.
That's correct. Lenape.
General for 50.
General knowledge for 50. The subject of an Aristotle volume, a branch of mathematics, and Mr. Spock's specialty. What word describes them all? The subject of an Aristotle volume, a branch of mathematics, and Mr. Spock's specialty. What word describes them all?
Logic.
Correct.
We'll do sports for 50.
Sports for 50. In what gymnastics event is a routine of dance-type movements with acrobatic skills performed without apparatus on a mat measuring about 40 square feet? The routine is performed to music for the women's competition. In what gymnastics event is a routine of dance-type movements with acrobatic skills performed without apparatus on a mat measuring about 40 square feet? The routine is performed to music for the women's competition.
Floor.
Correct. Lenape.
History for 25.
History for 25. 51 miles long, it was hailed at the time as the greatest liberty man has ever taken with nature. Theodore Roosevelt called it the most formidable engineering feat in history. Name it.
The Panama Canal.
Correct. Morristown Friends.
We'll do sports for 25.
Sports for 25. Elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame in 1974, he spent his entire career in the major leagues, 1951 to 1968, with the New York Yankees. His record of 18 World Series home runs still stands. Who was he? Elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame in 1974. He spent his entire career in the major leagues, 1951 to 1968, with the New York Yankees. His record of 18 World Series home runs still stands. Who was he?
Is it Lou Gehrig? Lou Gehrig.
It's incorrect. Lenape?
DiMaggio.
It's also incorrect. Mickey Mantle.
Oh.
Mickey Mantle.
These were both wrong. General
Lenape.
Langlet for 25.
Langlet for 25. This beast appears among the men of blood, damned for their violence in Dante's Inferno. Known by the personal name Asterion, it was the offspring of the Queen of Crete, named this creature killed by Theseus in the labyrinth.
The Minotaur.
That's correct.
We'll do general knowledge for 25.
General knowledge for 25. What word can refer to a high-tech storage area? That mushroom thing left in the wake of an atomic bomb, and stratus or nimbus?
Cloud.
Cloud is correct.
Mushroom thing.
And that's our final question. We're going to take one last break, get a score check, announce a winner, and present the trophies. And we want to welcome everybody back one last time to LDTV's broadcast of the 28th Annual Burlington County Academic Tournament. Tallied up our scores. Second place with 530 points goes to Morristown Friends. Good guys, nice job. And this year's champion with a total of 780 points in the final is Lenape. Present first place to Tyler. All right. So great job by both teams and all the teams that participated in this year's tournament. And we want to thank you one last time for watching LDTV.